Hi, I'm Brandon Bruce from Notice. I am currently in the studio working on some new tracks, and I wanted to show you my rig that I am using while I'm here. We'll start with the amps. So currently I have a pretty weird setup. I am pretty much going through 3 amps, not all at the same time, but I have them all set up and ready to go at a drop of a dime, just so if I'm searching for a tone or hear a sound that I want to achieve, I just plug right in and I get it. However, this is very different than what my rig would look like in a live touring situation. The Mesa Dual Rec is the basis of all of my tone. Like, this is my go-to if I'm just basically plugging in and trying to write. Serves mostly as like my overdrive and high gain situations. Every once in a while I will go clean on it, but yeah, it's my favorite amp. I've had this amp forever. I honestly want to get a second one because I do love Dual Rec so much. The cabs are these frameless 4x12s that just have Celestion greenbacks, which is personally my favorite Celestion speaker. And then I also have this frameless Ruby Riot. These things are pretty hard to find. It took me forever to actually find one. And I love this thing. They kind of tote this as having like a clean / overdrive sound of an AC30 while having a distorted sound of a Marshall JCM or 900. And I won't say it's spot on, but they do a really good job of doing that. And so I do prefer the clean on this over the Dual Rec, but I do prefer the distortion of the Dual Rec over the frameless. But this is a different distortion, and both have their place. Both are being utilized as my rig for a purpose. And so if I'm kind of looking for clean and overdrive, this is what I'll go for. But if I'm looking for just overdrive and high gain, Mesa Dual Rec's where it's at. Finally, I have this Fender Hot Rod DeVille. I pretty much only use this for super clean, bright, clean, just overall clean tones. Every once in a while I'll throw like an overdrive pedal or something just to chop it up a little bit. Maybe if I'm doing some like 60s leads or 70s leads or stuff. But for the most part, this is really just my bright, clean, amped sound, at least in the studio right now. And this thing is great. I love it. It is one of the new ones. This isn't a vintage old Fender amp. This is a 2023, which I heard Adam Jones one time talk about his guitar and make a joke about, if you ever want to shut up a gearhead and they ask you, what year is that amp? Just say 2023. It's like, it's not special anymore. It's not vintage. But it's perfect. It's great. It does its job, and I'm very happy with it. We can move over to guitars. Right now I have my Cobain Jaguar. This is currently in drop D. It stays in drop D. All of my guitars pretty much live in a different tuning unless they give me a different tone. So like my SG and my Fender Strat, they're both in standard tuning, but they sound completely different. This lives in drop D, and it's my drop D guitar. We can move on. This is probably my number 1 right now, my Gibson SG Special. I think it's from 2013 or something like that. I don't know. But I love this guitar. I have never owned a guitar with P90s before, and this was my first one, and I was pleasantly surprised on how awesome they sound and how much of a punch they pack. So this is probably my number 1 go-to in the studio right now, and very happy with this addition. Moving on to my Fender Strat. I believe this is, what is this? An American Special 2, I think it is. Does it say back here? Yep, American Professional 2. Great guitar, first Strat I've ever owned. It does have a push-pull tone switch, which to my ear it doesn't sound like it does much, but I just keep it up for some reason. I don't know, just what feels right. But yeah, so this is kind of, you know, when I need a Strat sound, I have it. This is my Tele replacement, I guess you could say. This is a Franis Renegade from 2009. I got to play this with Max Weinberg and Gary W. Talent, which was really cool playing Bruce Springsteen songs with them. And yeah, this is just such a light, easy guitar to play, fun guitar to play, and kind of, you know, chops up for when I'm looking for something in between my Strat and my SG. I believe, yeah, this is also in standard tuning. So I guess I have 3 guitars in standard tuning right now. But again, they all serve kind of a different purpose and give me that different tone. This is my half-step guitar. This is a Fender Ed OBrien signature. So you have a single coil humbucking pickup in the bridge position, but in the neck you have a sustainer pickup. So it can do a bunch of cool things, but this is also in a half step down. I don't often play in a half step down, but every once in a while you just pick stuff up and it has a different sound, you're in a different key. So just doing an A chord sounds different, sounds unique, and might inspire you in a way that you weren't inspired when you were playing standard. So I'm a true believer of that, and that's really what this is for, or if I want to play some Jimi Hendrix songs. And finally, in the electric guitars, I have this in a whole step down. This is my custom modded Yamaha Revstar. It might be in drop C. Nope. Yep. Just in a whole step down, so D standard. And this thing is just a mean machine. It just growls and bites and is a lot of fun to play. And again, just something to give me a different expression. I do thoroughly think that is important, especially when writing songs, is you never know what is going to inspire you, and sometimes just picking up a guitar with a different tuning gives you that inspiration. So that is it for the electric guitars. For the acoustic, right now I'm only working with one currently in the studio, and this is my Epiphone Master Built Excelente, and this is a beautiful, beautiful guitar I got in London when I was there down on Denmark Street. And yeah, it's currently in open G, and this is the key that I write most of my acoustic songs in, is open G tuning. It sounds like it's a little out of tune, but it's very out of tune. But I keep this in open G, and for some reason on an acoustic guitar that's the tuning that just speaks to me. And so it can be quite annoying at times to have all of these guitars in different tunings and be recording in so many different tunings, but it's really not about, you know, how much gear you need. It's what inspires you, and to me, alternate tunings are very inspiring. But I love this guitar. As you can see, it is the only acoustic guitar that I'm currently working with. Moving on to the pedals. My pedal board is pretty crazy right now. Again, it's just because I am recording. Like, this is not what my pedal board normally looks like, or what I would choose to go on the road with if given options. But again, while I'm writing and recording, I'm just making sure I have all possible sounds and tones available to me, and I built this crazy pedal board to achieve that. So first I have the D'Addario tuner. Nothing special, it's a tuner. I have my custom painted Dunlop Crybaby wah. This is really one of the main effects that I lean on and go to, and truly one of my favorite pedals. I also have this Digitech Whammy. I'm a big, big fan of this pedal, and ironically, every band that I've been in up to this one, I've found a place for this pedal. In my current songwriting, I'm not really finding a use for it, but I would love to add it into something. I have the MXR Phase 90. This is just your, quintessential, like, you need this on your pedal board if you're a guitarist. It's simple, only has one knob. I keep it at about 11 o'clock, and yeah, it's just super simple. You're just your quintessential pedal. The Seymour Duncan Vapor Trail, which is my delay. Again, pretty simple pedal for a delay pedal in my opinion, and I prefer this delay over any other delay pedals I currently own. The Boss Trem, again, not something I'm currently using, but if I need that sound, I have it. Holy Grail Reverb. Then I have this, what they call is a weirding module, and I can tell you it is very weird. It's like a synth distortion fuzz subwoofer, like it's just all these crazy sounds. This is something where, like, I don't know if Jack White owns one of these, but this is like your Jack White pedal. If you want those weird crazy guitar tones, this is the analog weirding module. And then just a couple boosts and overdrive. I have the Soul Food from Electro Harmonics and the Pickup Booster from Seymour Duncan. I am dealing with mostly high gain amplifiers, so I don't use these often. Really, I'll use those mainly if I'm plugged into the Fender and just want a little bit of bite from my sound. And then I have the small clone. This is the chorus pedal that Kurt Cobain would use in the studio in his live shows, but also in the MTV Unplugged. And this is just a great, easy, standard chorus. And then finally, I have the flanger from Boss. Again, it's pretty crazy, wild setup. This isn't normal, but it's a lot of fun. I feel very lucky to get to plug into all of this gear every day. And, I just try to keep anything that I feel like will, or possibly will, inspire me close and ready to go, so there's never an excuse in my mind. If I'm writing, recording, or doing anything, it's just go. There's no, oh, I'll think about that later, or I'll do that later. It's just plug in and achieve the sound. And again, I've said this a few times now, but I believe different sounds, different tunings, just different tones can all inspire you in a different way. So I try to have that all accessible when I'm writing. Thanks for watching.